Hi, my name's Doug Seitz. I'm the winemaker for the Rocky Top Wine Trail, and we're here today to talk about our Volunteer Nouveau. Nouveau has its origins in Beaujolais in France. Beaujolais is just like a little suburb of Burgundy, and it is the first wine released from the new vintage of grapes. So our Volunteer Nouveau will be the first wine that we're going to sell that'll be drinkable from our 2017 vintage here in East Tennessee. It became popularized in the late 1970s, early 1980s by a man named George Duff, who is a Beaujolaisan, and he, with much fanfare, declared its release date to be the Thursday before Thanksgiving. And he made quite a big deal out of it by having the wine flown from France over to the US in the Concorde, which was a hypersonic jetliner at the time. Has since been decommissioned. In any event, he made a big deal out of it, and people really loved it and thought it was a lot of fun and wanted to see what the hype was all about, and that got people drinking it. And they were really taken with its simplicity and its fruit-centered nature. For a red wine with such good color and intensity, you'd expect a little more weight to it, but it's not. It's relatively light and bodied. It's fruity and easy to drink like now. My own introduction to the production of Nouveau style wines was when I was 13 years old and I was working at the Tennessee Valley Winery with my brother-in-law Tom Reed. And I don't know if it's the first wine I learned how to make or not, but it's the first wine I remembered how to make. And it's the process by which it's made is what makes its taste so different. Typically with red wines, you're going to crush the grapes and then ferment them. With Nouveau, you do not crush the grapes, but you shred upon them lightly. And what this does is creates just a little bit of a juice into this box that the grapes come in. And this produces carbon dioxide, which displaces the oxygen inside of the container. So being deprived of oxygen, the cells can no longer carry out glycolysis in an aerobic form, so they have to do it differently without air, and as a result, they produce ethanol instead of energy. So we can get up to about 3 to 5% of alcohol in this fashion, which depletes about a third of the sugar in the grape. In addition to creating ethanol and depleting the sugar, it has other effects as well, most notably to reduce the quotient of malic acid in the wine. Malic acid has a very low sensory threshold and is perceived generally as kind of sour. Something such as like cranberry might be a descriptor for something with a lot of malic acid. So it's going to be smoother, rounder, a little more supple, and as a result of this technique of production, it's generally going to have a shorter life. It is usually best drunk within 3 to 6 months, or just right now. Cheers.